Hi, Geometry Honors parents and students. I am Mrs. Alday, and I teach Geometry Honors this year, first, second, third, and fifth periods. I would like to welcome you to Childs. I've been teaching here at Childs for about 7 years, and I've been teaching in general for 24 years. So I am going to minimize myself here and just show you around a little bit. So the first thing I want to take you to is ClassLink. These first four tiles are the most important for your student to have for my class. They need to be able to get to Canvas. They need to be able to check their grades and focus. They need to be able to email me, and you can email me as well through the Leon County School Outlook, aldayn@leonschools.net. So that's ALDAYN at leonschools.net. And then I need your student to sign up for Remind. This is where I can send a real quick text like bring your protractor, like I just sent out a few minutes ago. So that's real important that I can send them a text. I cannot see your child's number and they cannot see mine. It's just where I just send out a class announcement generically and I can send it out to all my classes at once. All right, the second thing I want to show you is the grades for your students. If you go to this grades tab in ClassLink, you see that the assignments are shown on the left-hand side and it's the due date shown in the middle, and then it tells whether or not the assignment is missing or whether it's even late. So then you see the score the student got. Now this is a test student, so you're not going to see anything here. This is just to pretend. And then these are the points that they can get. Now if you notice in the far right-hand side, you see this little message box. If you click on that, it will show below the message or the comment that I gave them, awaiting your submission for this assignment. So if your student can go into their grades and click on those messages, you can see if I'm waiting for something, if they have to still upload something. And that's real important, as I've been real lenient the first 3 weeks as far as due dates. But starting for this week's assignments, I'm not going to be as lenient. But if your student has something missing, if they could get that into me ASAP, that would be wonderful. All right, here is where your student, when they come into my Canvas platform, this is what they see, a reminder for them to check their announcements daily. You click on the announcements right here, and basically I'm just going to kind of tell you an agenda for what we did that day and what the homework is. I found out I cannot attach PDF files there, so they will have to go somewhere else to get their PDF file. I also have a link over here for Syllabus, and this is anything that you would need to know about my class. I'm going to go through a couple of those in a minute. But right here, I'm in the student view, and you see the tabs. They will use the announcements. I don't use the class link because I use the class link from either the Leon County School County page or from the Childs High School page. But they're going to need to be able to access their grades right here so they can see what they need to upload. And here's the syllabus, and they're going to need Zoom. Any student who maybe is homesick can still access Zoom, and any student who is a Digital Academy student, all you do is come over here and you're going to click a join button. This says start, but that's because I'm the teacher, but yours will say join. All right, so I'm going to go back to the home, and I'm going to go in and look at the student view real quick again, so you can see what it looks like from a student view. And parents, if you're interested in being an observer, that is a possibility for you to do. I'm not really sure how to yet, but we'll figure it out. So I'm going to click on modules, which is going to be the most popular place that your student needs to go. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see weeks. Like this is week 2, and this first one, this is a lesson. It has a little note on it. This one that is indented and it has 10 points, that has to be uploaded. The next one, it has a little link, and that's notes. The next one, it says homework on it. It is indented and it has points, so that's going to be an upload. So the next one is notes, and the next one is homework. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. It's pretty easy to navigate. So for this next one, this was a warm-up that's due. This was a homework assignment, and then notes, 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 homework assignment, notes, quiz. Now the quiz can only be accessed during our class time, so your student has to be ready to access it and upload it within a certain time frame. This is this week's, where they had a segments lab that's due on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on which class it is. Here is the lesson, the homework, the lesson, the homework, and this is this week's, this most recent lesson and homework. Now, if you click on the lesson, you will see usually a blank copy of the lesson and a filled in copy. So just in case your student didn't get something that day, or they want to see what the notes were that day, if they were absent, you can go there. After you look at the notes, you go down to the bottom of the page and you can click next, or you can go back to the module and just click the link underneath that is indented, and this will show you the homework assignment. So this is the homework assignment for students from either yesterday's class, which for me right now, that would have been Thursday or Friday, September the 24th and 25th. This is distance and midpoint formula. The students can download this and print it if they want, but they don't have to, or they can just do it in their 5-subject spiral notebook that they're required to have, and they can just write the answers there and they'll take a picture. They're doing problems 1 through 16. So that kind of covers what we do in Canvas. Basically, what I want you to see on the syllabus is your student is supposed to put their phone away and turn it off when they come into the class. If it's hooked up to the network, it's going to be dragging down our computers and my ability to be able to Zoom and broadcast. Our daily schedule is pretty similar. My first and second period classes, when they come in, they sanitize, sign in, and I do a temperature check. Whereas if your student is in my third or fifth period class, when they come in, they sanitize, sign in, and then they sanitize their desk. I've already sprayed the desk and they just wipe it down. Sometimes we have a warm-up activity that they're working on while I take attendance, and then we'll go over the previous night's homework. They'll ask some questions. We'll do a lesson. Right here, it shows you that normally we would be working on an assignment. But what I've learned this week is we're going to do a lesson. We're going to do a lesson. We're going to wrap up and see if there's any questions. And then my students are going to work on the assignment. So I've kind of tweaked the syllabus a little bit. Let me see if there's anything else I want to show you on the syllabus. If your student is in my Geometry Honors class, they need a protractor, they need a compass, they need a TI-30 Texas Instruments calculator. Here's the school supply list if you want to take a picture of it. This is actually also located on my website on the child's page under departments and math. But this is really the only thing that's really there that's really important. Your student needs a 5-subject spiral notebook because they have a warm-up section, a do now section, tools for geometry, which has vocab, postulates and theorems and definitions, notes, and then an assignment section. That's where they do their classwork or maybe their homework, and then an assessment section, which I'm not sure if we're going to even use that section or not. So they need a 5-subject notebook, and they're going to be probably using it up probably within the first 9 weeks. Another thing that I wanted to go over besides no cell phones is if your student is absent, it is their responsibility to find out what they've missed. If your student is in Zoom, there's certain requirements that need to be happening in Zoom for your student to be ready. They need to log in 5 or 10 minutes before class starts. They'll be sitting in the waiting room, and then I'll let them in. All right, another thing that we can have in the class is students can have water bottles or any kind of closed top where it's a screw-on lid, not ones with straws in it. There are some helpful tips that I listed right here that would help your student in the transition in geometry because it really uses a different side of your brain. So the first 4 weeks is really getting to know what geometry is all about. So email me anytime. That's going to be the easiest place for you to get in contact with me. Also, you'll notice on your students page, you'll see this inbox over here. They can email me from there as well. But the first place I check is my Leon County School email. And then up until 4 p.m., I check my remind messages. But if they're in Zoom and they're working, you see here, I have 50 messages. So it's sometimes hard for me to get around to that third avenue of communication. So I prefer the email through the school first, and then the remind, and then lastly, the Canvas email. So welcome, and I hope that this has been beneficial for you.